They told me bust out my AP, perfect time, man. Got them baguettes up on my neck.
Hey Tigers, welcome back to another episode of TSC Talks. My name is Jack Slayton and I'm joined by
Jave Montgomery,
Torian Daniels,
Ethan Murphy.
Thank you guys so much for once again joining us for another episode of TSC Talks here on Tiger Sports Central. This is episode 16, and since we don't have any Bardstown sports to cover, we are going to start off by recapping the big basketball game that happened last Tuesday between the Kentucky Wildcats and the Louisville Cardinals. I think we all predicted Louisville, so I'm sure we're all pretty happy with those outcomes. Javen, you want to start us off?
Yeah. I would just like to thank Michael Brown Jr. I had a parlay on him, you know what I'm saying, for all my friends. I said if he goes to 30 points, he owed me some money, you know what I'm saying? And he did exactly that. We started off hot. We had the lead on Kentucky the whole game. It was for 37 minutes and some odd seconds. So they only had a lead for 30 seconds, and we came back and shot the three. But other than that, yeah, we really played good. We came out hot, shooting the three ball. Kentucky just couldn't stop us. But I would like to say the dude on Kentucky who came off the bench, he gave us some problems, really. I feel like if it was 2 more minutes in the game, it really would have been a ball game. But, the Cards came out with a dub.
Yeah, it was a good atmosphere. I was at the game. It was Michael Brown did really good. Donovan Mitchell was there, so I feel like everybody was just. I feel like something that Kentucky wasn't ready for. I feel like they thought there was gonna be more Kentucky fans at the game, but it was really loud, and I mean Louisville couldn't miss. They couldn't miss a three. So.
Yeah, I found it pretty funny to me, just how quiet all the Kentucky fans were. I didn't see anything. Nobody was really. It was just nothing, and I think that shows that Louisville beat them, and I'd say they killed them. But
it was a murder. It was a murder scene.
It was 20-point game, pretty much the whole time except the last couple minutes.
Yeah, last 7 minutes.
They would have beat them by more. They couldn't hit a free throw at the end of the game though. So, but yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was over.
Yeah, big win for Louisville. We'll see if Louisville's able to do anything in the postseason. If Kentucky, they never do. They're always a 4 seed, and then they just lose to Oakland or the Peacocks or something. But we'll see who they're up against in the tournament later on. Now shifting to college football, the first game on the topic of Louisville that we want to talk about is Clemson going to face 19th ranked Louisville. Javen?
I got Louisville. You know what I'm saying? Been my team. Always going to be my team. We're ranked for a reason. Clemson's not ready for us.
Yeah, I got Louisville too. I just feel like coming off the loss, Louisville's going to be not wanting to lose again. They need to win out and win the ACC, so I got them.
We did freaking lose.
Yeah, and like you said, they got to win out to have a chance at this conference. And I think that against Clemson, who has had their struggles, I think that they have a high upside. They've played very well, I think, for the past 2 weeks, but I think Louisville just has more to play for, and I think they're going to take it, especially after a loss as frustrating as that one against Cal on Saturday. Technically coming off a short week, I think they're going to surprise a lot of people and keep this one fairly one-sided.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Louisville just because I think Torian summed it up very well, and Ethan really. Louisville needs a big win. And hopefully they'll have this. Clemson, I wouldn't say they're not a bad team. They're probably better than Cal, who they just lost to. But we'll see. I think Louisville, they shouldn't have lost that game, and hopefully they'll win this game against Clemson. Now moving on to 9-ranked Notre Dame, going to face 23-ranked Pitt.
I got Pitt. I think Pitt will win that game at Pitt. I just feel like Notre Dame, they got some good losses, but they don't got a lot of good wins, and I just feel like they're destined for a loss right here.
I'm going to go with Notre Dame. I know it's a safe bet, but I just think I have a lot more faith in the Notre Dame team than I do Pitt, only because of the fact that I think Pitt just hasn't really impressed a lot of people. Notre Dame's really kind of found their form. I said earlier in the year when they went on that 0-2 start that they'd find their footing. They'd find their way, and I think that if they get this win, they could boost up to as high as maybe 6. So I think that riding high off those stakes, I think they're just going to take it. I think they're going to want it more than Pitt. It will be a close game, but I don't see a world where Pitt beats this Notre Dame team in the way they are right now.
All right. Moving on, 10-ranked Texas goes to face 5-ranked the Georgia Bulldogs.
Ooh, it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I got Georgia at Georgia. I
Yeah.
don't think Texas can really come in there and beat Georgia at their home.
Yeah, I got Georgia as well.
I'm still of the belief Texas is probably the most overrated team in the nation. I mean, if they were not in the SEC and they weren't the preseason number 1, I'm not too sure they'd be here. They're trying to find any excuse to make Arch Manning out to be this great quarterback, which factually he has not been. He has not lived up to the expectation, and I think that he's going to have a hard time struggling against one of the best and most premier defensive schools in the nation. I think Georgia wins a shockingly one-sided game, and I think that Texas falls out of this. I think that I still don't know why they're ranked, but that's just me. But give me Georgia in a big win.
Yeah, Ethan summed up exactly what I was going to say. I don't really see why Texas, they're at 10. I just don't get it. Personally, I'm not too high on any of the Texas teams, but the worst of them all, in my opinion, is Texas. So I'm going with Georgia. Now moving on to Sunday for the National Football League. We're going to start off when the 5-4 Kansas City Chiefs go to Denver to take on the 8-2 Broncos.
Let's go Broncos. Shout out Wyatt.
Yeah, I got the Broncos.
But yeah, I think the Broncos will win that. They just look like a better team, best team in their division. I think they'll win the division too.
I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say the Broncos also win this. I think that if they win this game, and their schedule's not particularly hard, I think that they could very well compete for the 1 seed. And if Kansas City loses this game, which I think they will, they're going to be in some deep trouble because, we talk about some Chiefs games. They've lost some very winnable games against opponents that are also in the hunt for a wild card spot. So I think that Denver just comes out rolling early. Kansas City tries to climb back, but they just don't. And also I think that Bo Nix is going to take a big step up. I know that he had a really bad game on a short week on Thursday last week, but I think that he shows why he is a competent quarterback in this league, and he's going to lead his team to a 9-2 start.
Yeah, so I hate saying this because I'm definitely rooting for Denver, but Denver, they have looked really, really inconsistent. Like that game, that Thursday night game, that was not a good showing from Denver at all. I really want Denver to win this, and I think that they will. However, I do see a world where Kansas City wins just because Denver has been so inconsistent, and their defense is strong, but their offense, it depends how Bo Nix is feeling. It's like some weeks he does good, some weeks he does really bad. I'm going to go with the Broncos. However, I definitely see a world where the Chiefs come out with a win. Moving on, the 7-2 Seahawks go to LA to face the 7-2 Rams.
I feel like anyone could win this, but give me the Seahawks because I got Smith and Jigba on my fantasy team, so I need him to do big. Go Seahawks.
Yeah, there you
go. This is going to be a shootout of a game. I think that neither team has a great defense, but if we're taking defense into account and how I think they'll respond, I think I have a lot more faith in LA than I do Seattle. Seattle's defense they've had their moments, but not nearly as much as LA. I think LA has a really good front four, I think, but I just think that in LA, I know they don't have many fans, but I think that they get a big win and people really start to give the Rams the credit they deserve because no one's really been talking about how good they've been this season.
Yeah, I think the Rams, they're kind of like a dark horse Super Bowl contender. The Seahawks, they look really good. I don't think the Seahawks are going to make it to the Super Bowl or anywhere close to the Super Bowl. Just for that and just knowing Matt Stafford, he's like, if you look at the two quarterbacks, at least Sam Darnold and Matt Stafford, Sam Darnold is known to not really perform well in big games. That's mainly just the playoffs, but I could see that taking place in a game like this, in a division matchup that really could be for the winner of the division once we get closer down into the season. I'm going to go with the Rams just because I think Matt Stafford, I think he's going to be the big part on that. Javen, anything on that?
Yeah, I have the Rams too.
Okay. All right. And then last but not least, the 6-3 Lions go to Philly to take on the 7-2 Eagles. And I'll start us off on this one. I rarely root for the Eagles. The Eagles are like bottom 5 teams like that I just dislike. This is a game where I'm rooting for the Eagles. I don't like the Lions.
Shocker.
But I will say, if it's the same Eagles team that Green Bay played, the Lions will beat them. Green Bay and the Eagles, they did not look good in that game, especially the Eagles. That offense, I don't know if it was just Green Bay's defense or what it was, but that offense, they got to fix something. And with the A.J. Brown stuff, the things he's been saying, I saw he went on somebody's Twitch stream and told everybody who had him on fantasy to get rid of him.
I seen that. Yeah.
I traded him away right after he said that. I feel like that's probably going to come back to bite me, but we'll see. A.J. Brown, I think he could be a factor if the Eagles want to win this game. They just got to get that passing game going because they're not just going to be able to run the ball against Detroit over and over. It didn't work against Green Bay, and you saw how that worked. They won, but they put up 10 points. I'm going with the Eagles. I think all they have to do to win is get their passing game involved.
I got the Lions. The Lions just been looking good.
Yeah, I got the Lions. I mean, we got our team back. We got our morale back. If we win this game, we're number 1 in the NFC, so it's just like.
Over the Packers? Ooh.
Packers 3rd in our division. Yeah, we ain't even looking at the Packers right now.
They dropped?
Yeah.
We looking at the Bears over the Packers right now. That's what.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
The Bears over the Packers.
Bear down.
Bear down. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a tough one at the Eagles. That's really the only reason why I'm like, it's gonna be hard.
Is it a night game or day game?
It's a night game too.
Ooh.
Yeah, night game at the Eagles. So it's like it's gonna be tough. But I mean, we got our team back and healthy, and we ain't seen a healthy Lions all year, pretty much since like the first game. I don't even hear it, but yeah, it's been tough. But, I think we're going to come out and win this one. One pride.
I think that when predicting this game, I think the biggest factor is going to be the offense. Both defenses are great. I think that will not be a worry. But I think that, this is a game that's going to be won on the ground. And as much as we hate to hear Torian say it, Jahmyr Gibbs is probably going to be the deciding factor on if they win this game. If they set the run up early, I don't see a world where Jalen Hurts, who is almost forced into throwing the ball every time he does, just wins against this Lions team. And, this will probably be a contender for a top NFC championship matchup prediction. I think the Lions take the regular season one of this. I just think that right now they've looked a lot better, and I got to go off of how they performed. But Detroit, it will be close because it is on the road, but I just think that right now Detroit is probably going to win this one.
Okay.
Jahmyr Gibbs MVP.
Oh, so we're back on Jahmyr Gibbs for MVP touring?
I mean, I haven't been off of it.
Has he looked like the best running back in the NFL?
Yeah.
Okay.
Top 2 for sure.
Really?
Definitely.
Okay.
100%.
Well, top 3. I give him Saquon Barkley, Jonathan Taylor.
Saquon Barkley ain't even been that good this year.
Yeah,
for real.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
He's been good, obviously.
That was not in order, by the way. But
Yeah.
Well, all right. The last thing that we're going to talk about is we are getting to that point in the season. We have seen some head coaches fired. The Giants just fired their head coach. This is about the time in the NFL where you can really see who is the good team and who are the bad teams. They kind of separate themselves around this time in the season. So what we're going to do is we are going to go around, and each person is going to say a head coach that they feel like is on the hot seat, whether that means that they should be fired, whether that means they just need to win to save their job. They will add that. Torian, you want to start us off?
I got Bears, Kevin Stefanski. That's his name, right? Or no, not Bears.
Yeah.
Browns.
Yeah.
I was going to say the Browns.
Yeah, I don't know why. I didn't mean Bears. Browns. Because, I mean, he's keeping Dylan Gabriel out there, and he is trash. Like, he is playing terrible. And you got a good quarterback sitting on the other end that you're not even letting see the field. So it's like, that's just bad coaching on you. Like, you can't even blame the team on that. That's your fault. So I think he should be out of here.
Yeah, to build off what Torian said, it reminds me, if you guys remember when Bill Belichick his last year, he refused to start Malik Cunningham, who was an electric young QB who was just sitting on the practice squad. It reminds me a lot of that. So, yeah. Ethan, who's your?
I'm gonna go with a hot take. I'm gonna go Sean McDermott of the Bills. I think that the Bills every year, it seems, we have the MVP in Josh Allen. This year's gonna be different against the Chiefs, and it never is. And I think that if you don't get over the hump again, this is like this would be like the 7th time you've had Josh Allen in the playoffs to do something and you just don't capitalize on it, I don't see a world where you would keep him. To go into like NBA terms, this is a lot like Tom Thibodeau of the Knicks last year. I mean, they were great for 3 years, but they could never get over the good teams. They could never get over the Pacers. They could never get over the great teams in the league. And I think it's going to be a situation like that where if you can't get over the great teams in your conference, why would we keep you around? We don't want the same result. And especially in this league, how fast-paced it is, you have to constantly improve and improve and improve. And I don't think they can if Sean McDermott is there just wasting the potential that is Josh Allen.
Yeah. Ethan, building off of that, how would you feel if, like, let's say they did fire Sean McDermott, if they brought in, like, Joe Brady, their offensive coordinator? Do you think that's an upgrade?
I think that it could be. I think that how I'm phrasing this is if Sean McDermott does if he does fall again, I think they should just find a new coaching staff because I don't think anyone would deny a chance to coach the Bills. I mean, that's a very desirable location to go to where the reigning MVP is. You know, there's a lot of talent there. Keon Coleman, he's up and coming. I think that, there's a lot of opportunity and windows, but, I don't think Joe Brady would be the answer they would be looking for. If this happens, which, I doubt it will because they love him over there, but if it does happen, I think that it would end up being a cleaning of house, kind of a fresh start coaching-wise.
You're saying like after this season, all coaches gone? If they
coordinators, yeah, because usually they kind of go in packs.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think this is even a question. I don't think he should be, like, fired tomorrow, but I'm going with Matt LaFleur of the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, I was going to agree with you. I ain't going to lie.
Yeah,
I ain't going to lie, Chris.
with that roster that you have, Micah Parsons, you have all these defensive guys who are I mean, they're getting better. Like Keyshawn Nixon, he's done really well. Then you got like Rashawn Gary, Jaron Cooper. You got all of these young talents who are performing so well on a defense, and your offense is not doing anything because your head coach does not know how to call a play. The reason I am saying that I really think he is on the hot seat, recently he has said some really odd things in the press conferences. I saw one reporter asked him if he was thinking about giving up play calling duties, and he started laughing. So that was one thing that stood out to me. The second thing was we have a kicker situation going on in Green Bay where our kicker has been dealing with a quad injury and cannot kick the ball right. He has the lowest field goal percentage in the league, and on our practice squad is the guy who holds the Green Bay franchise kicking record. Now, a reporter asked Matt LaFleur, why is the guy who holds the record sitting on the bench behind an injured guy? And he said, I don't talk to kickers. You're the head coach. Why are you not talking to the kickers? Seeing those press conferences and seeing that, it just, I was one of his biggest backers there for a little bit. I thought maybe he was even coach of the year, maybe last year. But with how Green Bay's defense has been doing compared to their offense, I just don't, I'm not too high on him right now. Javen, anything on that? Okay. Are there any other head coaches that you guys think?
No, I would agree with Green Bay. He needs to get out of there. Inside zone to the left.
Yep.
He needs to hit the door.
Yeah.
There you go.
You know who's got his spot
Don't you
secured
come back
is Dan
no
Campbell.
no more. Hit the road, Jack.
Second and 10, you never know what the Packers are going to do. You'll never guess what they're going to do on second down.
Inside zone.
Never. Yep, never.
That's all he runs.
Yeah, that's it.
I saw one picture. It was like his whole playbook was just inside zone to the right, inside zone to the right.
Yeah, I saw like Kurt Benkart's been getting into it. He's an old Packers QB. He's kind of like he's like a big social media guy now. He said some things about Matt LaFleur. I think they got into it one time, but he said some not so nice things about Matt LaFleur. But
I mean, if you got no receivers, what else can you do? You know what I mean?
I think we've got receivers. I don't even think. Like, I hear some people, they're like maybe even some people in the back were like, we need an alpha wide receiver. I don't think we need an alpha wide receiver. You look at teams like the Chiefs. The Chiefs never really have had that alpha wide receiver. You could say Rashee Rice, but, I mean, you look at, like, last year, the Chiefs, they had a good season. They didn't really have, like, a crazy
Rashee
guy.
Rice is just miles better than your top receiver.
No, I know he is. But,
okay,
I mean, you look at, like, the good
making sure.
quarterbacks, they just throw the ball to who's open. That's how I see it. Like, you look at Josh Allen. Who is Josh Allen's number one?
Keon Coleman.
Khalil Shakir.
See,
Khalil
I
Shakir.
see two different answers here: Keon Coleman and Khalil Shakir. That's
I
just
mean,
because Josh Allen gets the ball to who is open.
Well, Khalil Shakir gets open, though. You
And
need a receiver to get open, which y'all don't have.
I think we do. They're just not getting the ball because we run it
And,
all the time.
and your quarterback's Jordan Love, which doesn't help.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Jordan Love is much worse than Jared Goff.
He is, yeah, definitely.
Okay, all right. We'll see about that on Thanksgiving, Torian. I mean, we already saw it week 1, but we'll see again Thanksgiving. But thank you guys so much once again for joining us for another episode of TSC Talks. This was episode 16, and we look forward to episode 17 next Tuesday, where we will talk about all the games and talk about how it went. But as always, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you on the next episode.